Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a matter that is critical for your success and destiny, about the kind of people you should not allow in your life. Who you tolerate around you has the power to either propel you toward your purpose or pull you away from it. If you want to rise to the fullness of what you were created to be, there are certain types of people you must never tolerate. These individuals will drain your potential and weaken your foundation if you let them stay. The first group is the dream killers. The people you surround yourself with have the power to either elevate you or tear you down, and one of the most dangerous types of individuals you can ever encounter are the dream killers. These are the ones who often with subtle words or actions attempt to diminish your vision, undermine your purpose, and make you doubt the very goals you once felt so passionately about. Their impact is profound, and if you're not careful, they can derail you from the path that God has set before you. Dream killers come in many forms. Some of them are well-meaning friends or family members who, out of their own fear and insecurity, will tell you that your dreams are too big, too unrealistic, or too ambitious. They mask their negativity with concern or advice, but underneath it all, they are sowing seeds of doubt into your spirit. Perhaps they tell you that it's not practical to pursue that career path, or that you should play it safe, rather than take a risk that could propel you toward your true calling. They often use phrases like "be realistic" or "don't get your hopes up too high," but what they are really doing is projecting their own limitations onto you. Then there are those who are more overt in their attempts to tear down your vision. These individuals actively speak against your dreams, often out of envy or bitterness because they haven't pursued their own. You see, a dream killer is often someone who has settled for less in their own life, and when they see you reaching for something higher, it reminds them of their own unfulfilled potential. Instead of supporting your ambition, they seek to bring you down to their level. They criticize your plans, question your abilities, and highlight every possible obstacle that could get in your way. Their words may be laced with sarcasm or outright discouragement, but the impact is the same. They make you second-guess yourself and your purpose. One of the most dangerous things about dream killers is that they often sound reasonable. They may point out the risks, the challenges, and the odds stacked against you, and on the surface, their arguments can seem logical. But here's the problem: they don't see what you see. They don't have the vision God has given you. They don't carry the burden of the purpose He has placed on your heart. And because they don't have your vision, they cannot understand the depth of your calling. It's not their fault, but it is their limitation. The problem arises when you begin to listen to them and allow their limited perspective to influence your decisions. Dream killers have a way of making you feel like you're being too bold, too ambitious, or too unrealistic. But if you look through the pages of history, every great leader, every inventor, every innovator, and every world changer faced dream killers. They were told it couldn't be done, that it was impossible, that they were aiming too high. But they pressed on anyway because they understood that their vision wasn't given to everyone, it was given to them. They knew that if they allowed others to impose their limitations, they would never reach the heights they were destined for. What makes dream killers so effective is that they often speak to the fears and insecurities you already have within yourself. They echo the doubts you might secretly harbor, and they magnify them. Maybe you've questioned whether you're capable, whether you're prepared, or whether you're worthy of achieving the dream that's been placed in your heart. When dream killers speak, they seem to validate those doubts. And if you're not careful, you may begin to internalize their words as truth. This is why it's so critical to guard your heart and mind against their influence. You have to be vigilant about what voices you allow to speak into your life. It's important to recognize that dream killers are not always malicious. Sometimes they genuinely believe they are helping you by encouraging you to be cautious. But here's the truth: you cannot afford to let anyone diminish your vision. The path to fulfilling your purpose is rarely without obstacles, but the size of your dream is never the problem. God did not give you a dream that is too big for you to accomplish. What He has placed in your heart, He has also given you the capacity to fulfill. But if you allow the dream killers to plant doubt and fear in your mind, you may never take the first step toward what you were created to do. You must remember that not everyone is meant to understand your journey. Not everyone will believe in the dream that God has given you, and that's okay. You don't need everyone's approval. You just need the conviction in your spirit that what you're pursuing is aligned with your purpose. And once you have that conviction, you must protect it fiercely. Now let's talk about the manipulators, those people who subtly control and influence your life for their own selfish purposes. Manipulators are experts at disguising their intentions. They come into your life often wearing the mask of a friend, a mentor, or even a family member, making you believe that they care about your well-being. But beneath that surface is a desire to control your actions and decisions for their benefit. One of the most deceptive characteristics of manipulators is that they can appear to be genuinely supportive at first. They may seem like they're giving you advice or guidance, but their ultimate goal is to shape your choices to suit their agenda. Manipulators know how to play on your emotions. They will use your fears, insecurities, and even your ambitions to guide your steps in the direction they want you to go. And the more you allow them to have that control, the more power they will exert over your life. Let me tell you, manipulators are dangerous because they strip you of your independence and discernment. Instead of walking in the fullness of your purpose, you find yourself constantly second-guessing your decisions, asking yourself if you are doing the right thing or if you are pleasing the manipulator in your life. Over time, this erodes your confidence and weakens your ability to follow your own vision. You start living for someone else's benefit, not your own purpose. What makes manipulators so difficult to identify is that they often play the role of a trusted advisor. They make you feel like they have your best interests at heart, and they may even give you good advice from time to time. But if you look closely, you'll notice a pattern. Manipulators will never support decisions that truly empower you unless those decisions also serve their interests. They want to keep you dependent on them, making you believe that you need their approval or insight before moving forward. A manipulator's greatest tool is guilt. They know how to make you feel obligated to them, as though you owe them something for their time, advice, or help. They may remind you of how they've been there for you in the past, and they will use that as leverage to control your future actions. This guilt creates a cycle where you feel compelled to continue seeking their approval, afraid of disappointing them or losing their support. But the truth is, a manipulator's support is never genuine. It's conditional upon you doing what they want. In some cases, manipulators use flattery and praise to gain influence over you. They build you up, telling you how talented you are, how much potential you have, or how special you are to them. But this is all part of their strategy. Once they have built up your trust, they will begin to guide your decisions subtly, always framing their advice in a way that seems beneficial to you. Over time, you become reliant on their approval, craving their affirmation to validate your choices. This emotional dependency allows them to control you without you even realizing it. Another tactic manipulators use is fear. They may try to scare you into making decisions that serve their interests. They'll tell you that if you don't follow their advice, something bad will happen. They may instill fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of losing out on an opportunity. They create scenarios where the only safe option seems to be doing exactly what they suggest. But this is manipulation at its core, using fear to keep you bound to their control. Manipulators thrive on dependency, and they will do everything they can to keep you in a place where you feel like you need them. They want to be the ones you turn to for advice, the ones you lean on for emotional support, and the ones you rely on for guidance. But here's the key: true empowerment never comes from being dependent on someone else. It comes from standing in your own strength, using the wisdom and discernment God has given you, and walking confidently in your purpose. If you allow manipulators to remain in your life, they will slowly but surely drain you of your autonomy. You'll find yourself constantly questioning your own decisions, second-guessing your instincts, and living under the weight of someone else's control. But you were never created to be controlled by anyone but God. Your purpose, your vision, and your destiny are too important to be subject to the whims and desires of manipulators. So be vigilant. Recognize the signs of manipulation in your life, and don't be afraid to set boundaries. You must reclaim your independence, trust the vision that's been placed in your heart, and walk boldly in the direction that God is leading you. Manipulators may try to control you, but they have no power over you unless you give it to them. Take back your power, stand firm in your purpose, and refuse to be swayed by those who seek to manipulate your destiny for their own gain. Now, let's address the complainers, those individuals who constantly focus on what's wrong, finding fault in every situation, but never offering any solutions. Complainers thrive in negativity. They are quick to point out problems, but slow, if ever, to suggest any way to fix them. And if you're not careful, their mindset can begin to influence your thinking, dragging you down into a space where all you see are obstacles, challenges, and reasons why things won't work. Complainers operate from a place of pessimism. They have a habit of magnifying difficulties while minimizing opportunities. Whether it's a new idea, a project, or even a positive change in your life, they will find something negative to say. They'll point out why it might fail, how it could go wrong, and why you shouldn't get your hopes up. The issue with complainers is that they rarely see the possibilities, they only see the limitations. And if you spend too much time around them, their negative energy can influence your faith, your enthusiasm, and your visions. What makes complainers dangerous is their ability to turn small challenges into seemingly insurmountable barriers. Where you might see a stepping stone, they will see a stumbling block. Where you see a door of opportunity, they will see a closed gate. And it's not just their words that are damaging, it's the atmosphere of negativity they create. Their constant complaints can suddenly shift your mindset from being solution-oriented to problem-focused. Complainers love to dwell on the past and lament what went wrong. They'll remind you of past failures, setbacks, and disappointments, not to help you learn from them, but to keep you stuck in them. Their conversation is filled with phrases like, "This never works, it's always been like this." Or, "What's the point of trying instead of looking forward?" They are anchored in the frustrations of yesterday. And when you're trying to move toward a brighter future, the weight of their pessimism can slow you down, or worse, stop you from moving forward altogether. But here's what you need to understand. Complaining is not just an attitude, it's a mindset. It's a perspective on life that sees difficulties as reasons to stop rather than challenges to overcome. And the more you allow complainers into your circle, the more their mindset becomes contagious. You'll find yourself starting to look at life through their lens, seeing limitations where God has placed opportunities, doubting yourself where you once had confidence, and focusing on problems instead of solutions. The danger of surrounding yourself with complainers is that their mindset can lead to paralysis. You become so focused on what's wrong that you forget to take action. You begin to lose sight of the fact that obstacles are part of the journey, and instead you start believing that they're signs you should give up. Complainers will have you convinced that life is unfair, that things will never get better, and that there's no point in trying. But this is a deception. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth, for creativity, and for innovation. But if you let complainers fill your mind with negativity, you'll miss those opportunities. Another key characteristic of complainers is that they often resist change. They are comfortable with the way things are, even if it's not working, and any attempt to move forward is met with resistance. When you introduce a new idea, a new direction, or a new goal, the complainers will immediately start pointing out all the reasons why it won't work. They are stuck in a mindset of maintaining the status quo because change requires effort, and effort requires leaving behind the comfort of complaint. Instead of embracing the new, they would rather dwell in the old, even if the old is no longer serving them or you. Complainers are also infectious. When you're around someone who constantly finds fault, you begin to notice more faults yourself. It shifts your focus. What you pay attention to multiplies in your mind. If you're constantly hearing about what's wrong, what's missing, or what's impossible, your mind starts to adopt that perspective, and before long, you're complaining too. You start seeing the negative in your own life, in your work, and in your relationships. This is why it's so crucial to guard your environment. You cannot allow someone else's negative perspective to take root in your spirit. In life, you will always face challenges. No journey is without them. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often not the size of the challenge, but the size of their response. Complainers respond to challenges with defeat, focusing only on the problems, but the victorious person sees challenges as stepping stones to greater things. And this is why you must distance yourself from complainers. If you allow their voice to be louder than the voice of faith, you will begin to doubt your ability to overcome. You'll start seeing barriers instead of breakthroughs. Complainers are not problem solvers, they are problem magnifiers. They offer no solutions, only excuses. And while they may seem harmless at first, their constant negativity can slowly erode your hope, your faith, and your passion. Surround yourself with people who believe in possibilities, who look for solutions, and who inspire you to rise above the challenges. Because in the end, it's not about the challenges you face, but the attitude you carry that will determine your success. Now let's discuss the envious, those who cannot celebrate your success and who harbor resentment when they see you prosper. Envy is one of the most destructive forces in relationships, and if not recognized, it can undermine your growth and progress. The envious person may appear friendly on the surface, but deep down they are uncomfortable with your advancement because it reminds them of their own lack or insecurities. Instead of encouraging you, they view your success as a threat, and their attitude toward you becomes a mixture of jealousy, bitterness, and rivalry. The envious person often starts off as someone close to you, perhaps a friend, family member, or colleague. At first, the envy might be subtle. They may offer a lukewarm congratulations when you achieve something significant, but their words will lack genuine enthusiasm. As time goes on, the envy may become more obvious. They'll downplay your accomplishments, make sarcastic remarks, or highlight your shortcomings rather than celebrate your victories. These are signs that their spirit is unsettled by your success. One of the main issues with envy is that it creates an atmosphere of competition where there should be collaboration. The envious person sees your achievements as a reminder of what they don't have. So instead of supporting you, they subtly or sometimes openly try to bring you down. They may spread rumors, sow seeds of doubt among others, or even try to sabotage your efforts. What you must understand is that envy is not just a feeling, it's an attitude that can manifest in actions meant to hinder your progress. Envy is also deceptive because it can be hidden behind smiles and polite words. An envious person might tell you they are happy for you, but the actions will reveal otherwise. They might refuse to acknowledge your progress publicly, avoid talking about your success, or distance themselves from you altogether. You might begin to feel tension in the relationship, but can't quite put your finger on why. It's because envy creates a silent competition in their mind where they view your advancement as their own setback. The dangerous thing about surrounding yourself with envious people is that they are rarely rooting for your continued growth. Their hearts are not aligned with your success, and as you continue to move forward, their discomfort only grows. They may start to criticize you behind your back, question your motives, or attribute your success to luck rather than your hard work or God's blessing. This subtle undermining is their way of coping with their internal sense of inadequacy. If you allow envious people to remain close to you, their negativity can seep into your spirit, making you feel guilty for your success or making you second-guess your achievements. Envy is also destructive because it distorts relationships. Instead of genuine friendship, envy creates rivalry. Instead of support, it breeds competition. You may find that your conversations with an envious person shift from meaningful connection to surface-level interactions where they are always comparing themselves to you. They'll highlight their own successes in an attempt to one-up you, or they'll downplay your accomplishments to make themselves feel better. This kind of toxic dynamic can drain your energy and distract you from your purpose. What's critical to understand is that envy often stems from insecurity. The envious person feels threatened by your success because it highlights something they feel is lacking in their own life. Instead of dealing with their own issues of self-worth or insecurity, they project those feelings onto you. Your success becomes a mirror reflecting their unfulfilled dreams, their missed opportunities, or their unresolved dissatisfaction with life. And rather than being inspired by your progress, they resent it because it reminds them of what they perceive they are lacking. It's important to remember that someone else's envy is not your responsibility. You cannot control how others feel about your progress or success. Your responsibility is to guard your heart and ensure that you do not allow their negativity to hinder your growth. If you find that someone in your life is consistently envious, it may be time to create some distance. You cannot afford to carry the burden of someone else's insecurity, especially when it begins to affect your peace and progress. The envious person will rarely celebrate your victories, but the truth is, your success is not contingent upon their approval or applause. You were created to thrive and to fulfill your God-given purpose, and that means you must rise above the opinions and feelings of others. Your journey is unique, and your success is a result of your faith, effort, and calling. Do not allow the envy of others to make you feel small or guilty for what you've achieved. Be mindful of the company you keep. The people in your inner circle should be those who genuinely celebrate your victories, who are excited about your growth, and who encourage you to keep pressing forward. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win, not people who secretly hope for your downfall. The envious person cannot walk with you into your next season because their heart is not aligned with your progress. They may be present for your struggles, but they are not equipped to celebrate your successes. Stay vigilant. Don't let envy creep into your relationships unnoticed. Recognize the signs early and protect yourself from the subtle sabotage it brings. Your destiny is too important to be weighed down by the envy of others. Keep your focus on the path ahead and be confident that your success is a reflection of your faithfulness to the vision and purpose you were given. Now let's focus on the users, people who only come into your life to take from you without ever giving back. Users are those individuals who drain your resources, energy, and time, but rarely, if ever, contribute anything meaningful to your life in return. They are experts at identifying what you can offer them, and they will take full advantage of your kindness, skills, and generosity until there's nothing left for you to give. Users are typically self-centered. They may appear charming or friendly at first, but their real motivation is to gain something from you, whether that's financial support, emotional comfort, or the benefits of your connections and influence. The problem with users is that they often disguise themselves as friends or allies. They know how to make you feel needed and important, but their affection is always conditional. As long as you are useful to them, they will stick around. The moment you can no longer provide what they want, they disappear. One of the most challenging aspects of dealing with users is that they exploit your good nature. They know you are generous, kind-hearted, and willing to help, so they take advantage of those traits. They may come to you with problems, needing advice, favors, or financial help, but when you need support, they are nowhere to be found. Users rarely reciprocate. Instead, they take and take while giving nothing back, leaving you feeling exhausted and unappreciated. Over time, having users in your life can lead to burnout. You'll find yourself constantly giving of your time, energy, and resources without ever receiving anything in return. This can drain not only your physical resources, but also your emotional and spiritual reserves. Users create one-sided relationships where the flow of support is only in their direction. While you're investing in them, they are simply collecting benefits without ever sowing back into the relationship. One of the key traits of a user is that they are never satisfied. No matter how much you give, they will always want more. They don't appreciate the sacrifices you make or the effort you put into helping them. Instead, they come back asking for more of your time, more of your energy, more of your resources. And because they have little regard for your well-being, they don't consider how their constant demands may be affecting you. To them, the relationship is transactional. They take what they need, and once they've gotten it, they move on until they need something else. Users are often skilled manipulators. They know how to make you feel guilty for not helping them or for setting boundaries. They may say things like, "I thought you were my friend," or "You're the only one who can help me," putting pressure on you to fulfill their needs. This emotional manipulation can make it difficult to say no, especially if you genuinely care about the person. But it's essential to recognize that true friendship is not one-sided. A healthy relationship is built on mutual support, where both parties invest in each other. The danger of allowing users to stay in your life is that they will consume all of your time and energy, leaving you with little to pursue your own goals and dreams. You'll find yourself constantly distracted by their needs, constantly trying to help them solve their problems, while neglecting your own priorities. Users thrive on your distraction. As long as you are focused on meeting their needs, you won't have the time or energy to focus on your own growth and development. And this is how they limit your progress, by keeping you so busy catering to their demands that you can't move forward in your own life. Another key characteristic of users is that they tend to jump from person to person. Once they've drained one source of help, they move on to the next. They are opportunistic in nature, always looking for someone else who can fulfill their needs. If you pay attention, you'll notice that users often have a pattern of broken relationships. They've likely left behind a trail of people who were once close to them, but eventually realized that they were being taken advantage of. The user simply moves on to someone new, leaving behind damaged relationships in their wake. It's important to understand that users are not genuinely interested in building a meaningful connection with you. Their focus is on what they can get from the relationship, not on how they can contribute to it. And once you no longer serve their needs, they will distance themselves or even disappear altogether. This can be painful, especially if you've invested time, energy, and resources into the relationship, but it's a clear sign that the person was only there for selfish reasons. Recognizing users in your life requires self-awareness and discernment. You have to be able to see past the flattery, the emotional manipulation, and the constant demands to recognize the one-sided nature of the relationship. It's not easy to admit when someone you care about is only using you, but it's necessary if you want to protect your energy and your purpose. You cannot afford to let users drain you to the point where you have nothing left for yourself. Setting boundaries with users is crucial. You need to protect your resources, your time, and your energy. It's okay to help others, but not at the expense of your own well-being. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Understand that you are not obligated to meet everyone's needs, especially those who only seek to take from you without giving anything in return. You were created for a purpose, and you cannot fulfill that purpose if you are constantly pouring into people who have no intention of pouring back into you. The users in your life may try to make you feel selfish for setting boundaries, but remember, it's not selfish to protect your well-being. You are called to live a life of purpose, and that requires discernment in who you allow into your circle. Don't let users derail your progress by draining your resources and distracting you from your God-given destiny. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you and who give just as much as they receive. Now, let's consider the negative influences, those individuals who consistently lead you away from your values, purpose, and spiritual alignment. Negative influences are not always obvious. They often seem like friends, colleagues, or even mentors who appear supportive, but their influence gradually pulls you in directions that contradict your principles, integrity, and long-term goals. Negative influences subtly and sometimes overtly steer you toward decisions that compromise your character or hinder your growth. Their impact is often seen in the small choices you make, the things you start to tolerate, the values you begin to bend, and the standards you slowly lower. It may start with harmless suggestions or casual remarks, but over time, their influence can erode the very foundation of your integrity. These are people who, whether intentionally or not, plant seeds of doubt, disobedience, or rebellion in your heart, leading you off course from the path you were meant to walk. One key trait of negative influences is their subtle manipulation of your priorities. They may encourage you to focus more on worldly success, material gain, or short-term pleasures, rather than on the things that matter most: your purpose, your relationships, and your spiritual walk. These influences may not outright tell you to abandon your values, but they create an environment where compromise seems acceptable. They'll rationalize questionable decisions, downplay the consequences, and make it seem as though your convictions are overly restrictive or outdated. Negative influences often disguise their influence under the guise of progress or fun. They'll tell you that everyone is doing it, or that you're missing out if you don't follow their lead. They present a version of success or happiness that is based on external validation, whether it's wealth, status, or pleasure, while ignoring the deeper fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with your higher calling. Their influence is dangerous because it's often masked in what seems like good advice, but their counsel leads you further from your true purpose and identity. What makes negative influences particularly damaging is that their impact is gradual. They rarely demand that you make a drastic change all at once. Instead, it's the little compromises that accumulate over time, the small decisions to prioritize convenience over conviction, to choose comfort over growth, or to pursue personal gain at the expense of integrity. These gradual shifts in your values might not seem significant at first, but they eventually lead to major deviations from the life you are called to live. Another characteristic of negative influences is their ability to create doubt about your own beliefs and decisions. They might question your goals, your values, or your faith, not in a direct confrontation, but through subtle comments or suggestions. They'll make you second guess whether you're being too rigid or too idealistic. They may say things like, "Are you sure that's what you really want?" Or maybe you're overthinking it. Over time, this can chip away at your confidence, causing you to question whether the path you're on is the right one. The danger of allowing negative influences into your life is that they divert your attention away from what is truly important. They will encourage you to chase after things that are fleeting and superficial, rather than focusing on long-term fulfillment and growth. They'll push you to seek validation from the world rather than staying rooted in your own values and the purpose for which you were created. And once you start following their lead, you may find yourself on a path that looks successful on the outside but feels empty on the inside. Negative influences can also create an atmosphere of discontentment. They'll make you feel as though what you have is never enough, whether it's your career, your relationships, or your achievements. They foster a mindset of constant comparison, encouraging you to measure your worth based on what others have or what society deems as success. This can lead to a never-ending pursuit of more money, more recognition, more possessions, while neglecting the inner peace and fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with your true values. It's important to recognize that negative influences are often themselves lost or disconnected from their own purpose. They may not intentionally be trying to lead you astray, but their own lack of direction or fulfillment causes them to pull others into their mindset. Misery loves company, and those who are disconnected from their own purpose often feel more comfortable when others are equally off course. They may not realize the harm they're doing, but their influence is still toxic, slowly leading you away from your calling and toward a life of distraction, compromise, and dissatisfaction. Negative influences also often lack accountability. They will encourage you to make decisions that benefit them or align with their worldview, but when things go wrong, they are the first to distance themselves from the consequences. They'll say, "I never told you to do that," or "that was your decision." They're quick to influence, but slow to take responsibility when their advice leads you into trouble. This lack of accountability is a clear sign that they are not invested in your well-being, only in how your choices serve their agenda. Protecting yourself from negative influences requires discernment and courage. You must be vigilant about who you allow to speak into your life and influence your decisions. Not everyone who gives advice is qualified to guide you, and not everyone who seems supportive has your best interests at heart. You must be willing to assess whether the people around you are helping you stay aligned with your purpose or whether they are pulling you away from it. Setting boundaries with negative influences is essential. You have to be firm in your convictions and clear about your values. If someone's influence is leading you down a path that contradicts who you are or what you believe, it's time to distance yourself from them. This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need to be selective about whose opinions and guidance you prioritize. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to stay true to your values, who inspire you to grow, and who celebrate the person you are becoming, not those who lead you into compromise, distraction, or disobedience. Negative influences may come in many forms, but they all share one trait: their influence pulls you away from your higher calling. You cannot afford to let their subtle manipulation or misguided advice derail your progress. Stay focused on your purpose, guard your values, and choose wisely the voices you allow to guide your path. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a principle that can transform your life and lead you to the success you seek. Force yourself to get it done. Every achievement we aspire to accomplish in life starts with a decision. The power of decision is an often underestimated force that shapes our reality. When we make a decision, we are not merely choosing an option, we are setting a course for our lives and aligning our actions with our intentions. This act of deciding is foundational. It is the initial step in taking control of our lives and directing our paths towards success. Consider the nature of decision making. It requires clarity of thought, a willingness to take responsibility, and the courage to step into the unknown. When we decide to pursue a goal, we effectively declare that we are ready to move forward, regardless of the challenges that may arise. This decision is not just a casual choice, it is a commitment to take action and follow through. It signifies that we have weighed our options, assessed our priorities, and determined that this particular goal is worth the effort. The challenges and distractions we face daily can often cloud our judgment and deter us from our chosen path. Life is filled with noise, external pressures, societal expectations, and our internal doubts can create a whirlwind of confusion. In such an environment, making a decisive choice can feel daunting. However, it is crucial to understand that the power of decision allows us to cut through this noise. It acts as a beacon, guiding us through the fog of uncertainty. By firmly deciding what we want, we establish a focal point that helps us navigate the complexities of life. Moreover, the act of deciding empowers us. It places the responsibility of our future squarely on our shoulders. When we make a decision, we are saying, I choose to take control of my life. This empowerment is transformative. It shifts our perspective from that of a passive observer to an active participant in our own story. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change or for opportunities to fall into our laps, we become the architects of our destinies. This empowerment can ignite a fire within us, motivating us to take action and pursue our dreams with fervor. However, the journey of decision making is not always straightforward. It often involves facing fears and uncertainties. What if I fail? What if I make the wrong choice? These questions can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in a cycle of indecision. Yet we must recognize that every decision comes with a degree of risk. There will never be a perfect time to act. Waiting for certainty can lead to missed opportunities. The most successful individuals understand that progress requires moving forward in spite of uncertainty. They embrace the possibility of failure as a learning opportunity, knowing that every experience, whether positive or negative, contributes to their growth. To harness the power of decision, we must cultivate a mindset of confidence and resilience. This begins with trusting ourselves and our abilities. We have all faced challenges in the past, and we have emerged stronger for it. Reflecting on our past successes can serve as a powerful reminder of our capability to overcome obstacles. When we make a decision, we must believe in our ability to follow through and adapt as necessary. This belief fuels our commitment and helps us push through difficult moments. In addition to self-trust, clarity of purpose is essential. When we decide to pursue a goal, we should have a clear understanding of why it matters to us. This intrinsic motivation is what will sustain us during the tough times. We need to ask ourselves what drives us. What are we passionate about? What legacy do we want to leave? Having a clear purpose not only clarifies our decision, but also enhances our determination. When we know why we are pursuing something, we are more likely to stay the course, even when faced with challenges. Another critical aspect of decision making is the willingness to adapt. The journey toward achieving our goals may not unfold as we initially envisioned. Obstacles will arise, plans may need to change, and setbacks can occur. A powerful decision is not a one-time event. It is a commitment to remain flexible and open to new possibilities. By embracing adaptability, we empower ourselves to make necessary adjustments along the way while keeping our ultimate goals in sight. Additionally, it is vital to surround ourselves with a support system that encourages decisive action. Sharing our goals with others can create accountability and motivate us to stay on track. When we communicate our intentions to friends, family, or mentors, we invite them to be part of our journey. Their encouragement and support can serve as a powerful catalyst, propelling us forward and reinforcing our commitment to our decisions. The power of decision is a transformative force that propels us toward our goals. It is the ignition switch that activates our potential and allows us to take charge of our destinies. By consciously choosing to pursue our aspirations, we take the first critical step in a journey filled with opportunities for growth, learning, and fulfillment. It is through this act of decision making that we reclaim our power and set ourselves on a path to achieving our dreams. Embracing the power of decision allows us to rise above challenges, seize opportunities, and create the life we desire. Highlight the importance of discipline in accomplishing tasks. Motivation can fluctuate, but discipline keeps us grounded and focused. It is the commitment to do what needs to be done, even when we don't feel like it. Discipline is a cornerstone of success that often goes unrecognized in the pursuit of our goals. While motivation is essential to ignite the initial spark of enthusiasm, it is discipline that sustains our efforts and ensures we remain committed to our objectives. Motivation can be unpredictable, influenced by external circumstances, moods, and fleeting inspirations. It can surge at times and wane at others, leading many to experience cycles of productivity followed by periods of stagnation. This inconsistency can derail our progress and leave us feeling frustrated and unfulfilled. On the other hand, discipline is a steadfast quality that provides structure and stability. It is the ability to maintain focus and commitment regardless of external factors. Discipline is not merely about following a rigid set of rules. It is a mindset that prioritizes long-term goals over short-term gratification. When we practice discipline, we acknowledge that the journey toward our aspirations may require hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. This understanding empowers us to push through obstacles even when our motivation dwindles. The relationship between discipline and success is profound. Every successful individual you admire has achieved greatness, not just because they felt inspired, but because they developed the discipline to act consistently over time. This consistency is what distinguishes those who achieve their dreams from those who merely wish for them. It is the daily habits, the small choices, and the unwavering commitment to doing what needs to be done that ultimately lead to significant results. To cultivate discipline, we must first set clear goals and establish a plan of action. When we have a well-defined objective, it becomes easier to identify the steps required to reach it. This clarity provides us with a roadmap that we can follow, even on days when our motivation falters. A disciplined approach involves breaking our goals down into manageable tasks and setting deadlines for their completion. By creating a structured plan, we empower ourselves to stay focused and on track, reducing the likelihood of procrastination and distractions. Another critical aspect of discipline is the ability to create and maintain healthy habits. Habits are the building blocks of our daily routines, and they significantly influence our ability to achieve our goals. By consciously developing positive habits such as setting aside dedicated time for work, practicing self-care, or maintaining a balanced lifestyle, we can enhance our overall productivity and well-being. Discipline allows us to establish these habits and stick to them, even when it feels challenging. It is in the moments of discomfort and resistance that discipline truly shines. It is the commitment to follow through, regardless of our current feelings or circumstances. Moreover, discipline requires us to cultivate resilience. Setbacks and failures are inevitable on the path to success, and how we respond to these challenges is a testament to our level of discipline. Rather than viewing obstacles as insurmountable barriers, we must embrace them as opportunities for growth and learning. A disciplined mindset allows us to bounce back from setbacks, analyze what went wrong, and adjust our strategies accordingly. This resilience not only strengthens our resolve, but also reinforces our belief in our ability to overcome challenges. Additionally, accountability plays a significant role in fostering discipline. When we hold ourselves accountable for our actions and commitments, we are more likely to follow through on our plans. Sharing our goals with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues creates a support system that encourages us to stay disciplined. This external accountability can provide the motivation we need to push through moments of doubt or fatigue. Knowing that others are invested in our success can serve as a powerful reminder of our commitment and drive. It is essential to recognize that discipline is not about perfection, it is about consistency. There will be days when we falter or feel unmotivated, and that is completely normal. The key is to maintain a long-term perspective. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on progress. Celebrate the small victories along the way, and recognize that every step you take, no matter how small, contributes to your overall growth. This approach allows us to be kinder to ourselves while reinforcing the importance of discipline in our journey. In a world filled with distractions and competing priorities, cultivating discipline is more important than ever. It keeps us grounded in our purpose and focused on our goals. While motivation may inspire us to take the first step, it is discipline that ensures we continue moving forward, even when the path becomes challenging. By committing to discipline, we unlock our potential and empower ourselves to achieve what we once thought was impossible. It is through this unwavering commitment to our goals that we can turn our dreams into reality, transforming our aspirations into achievements. Address the barriers of fear and self-doubt that often hold us back. Acknowledge that these feelings are natural, but we must not allow them to dictate our actions. Instead, we must confront them head-on and push through. Fear and self-doubt are two of the most common and insidious barriers that can stand in the way of our success. They can manifest in various forms: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, and even fear of success itself. These emotions are natural and experienced by everyone at some point in their lives. However, the key to overcoming them lies in how we respond to these feelings. It is crucial to recognize that fear and doubt do not have to dictate our actions or define our journey. The first step in overcoming fear is to acknowledge its presence. Denying or suppressing our fears can lead to increased anxiety and a greater sense of helplessness. Instead, we should confront our fears openly, examining their roots and understanding what triggers them. Often fear stems from our past experiences, societal conditioning, or unrealistic expectations we place on ourselves. By shining a light on our fears, we can demystify them and gain perspective on their true nature. This act of acknowledgement is empowering. It signifies that we are ready to take control of our emotions rather than allowing them to control us. Once we have acknowledged our fears, the next step is to reframe our mindset. Instead of viewing fear as a barrier, we can see it as a signal that we are stepping outside our comfort zones and venturing into new territory. This shift in perspective transforms fear into a motivating force. It reminds us that growth often occurs on the other side of fear. When we choose to embrace this challenge, we cultivate resilience and develop the courage to take action despite our apprehensions. Moreover, we must learn to challenge our self-doubt. Self-doubt can be crippling, often leading us to question our abilities, worthiness, and potential. However, it is essential to understand that self-doubt is not an accurate reflection of our capabilities. Instead, it is often rooted in fear and insecurity. To combat self-doubt, we can practice self-compassion and positive self-talk. Replacing negative thoughts with affirmations and reminders of our strengths helps to shift our focus from what we feel we lack to what we bring to the table. By cultivating a mindset of self-belief, we empower ourselves to take bold steps toward our goals. Another effective strategy for overcoming fear and doubt is to take action. Action is the antidote to fear. When we allow fear to paralyze us, we miss out on valuable opportunities for growth and progress. So, conversely, taking small steps toward our goals, regardless of how insignificant they may seem, can create momentum and build our confidence. Each action we take, no matter how small, serves as evidence that we are capable of moving forward. This momentum can help to dissipate our fears and doubts, allowing us to confront bigger challenges with increased courage. It is also important to seek support from others. Surrounding ourselves with a positive and encouraging network can provide a significant boost when facing fear and doubt. Sharing our concerns and aspirations with trusted friends, mentors, or family members creates a support system that can help us navigate our challenges. Others can offer valuable perspectives, encouragement, and insights that we may not have considered. Moreover, knowing that we are not alone in our struggles can be incredibly comforting and empowering. As we confront fear and self-doubt, we must also accept that discomfort is a part of growth. Stepping outside our comfort zones can be intimidating, but it is often where the most profound transformations occur. Embracing discomfort as a necessary part of the journey allows us to cultivate resilience and adaptability. It is in these moments of vulnerability that we discover our true strength and capabilities. By pushing through discomfort, we pave the way for personal development and unlock new possibilities. Finally, it is essential to practice patience and persistence. Overcoming fear and self-doubt is not a one-time event, it is an ongoing process. There will be days when we feel strong and confident, and there will be days when our fears resurface. It is crucial to recognize that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. Rather than allowing temporary feelings of fear or doubt to deter us, we must recommit ourselves to our goals and keep moving forward. Consistent practice, self-reflection, and resilience will ultimately lead us to greater heights. Fear and self-doubt are natural barriers we all face on our journey towards success. Acknowledging these feelings, reframing our mindset, challenging self-doubt, taking action, seeking support, embracing discomfort, and practicing patience are essential strategies for overcoming them. By confronting fear and doubt head-on, we empower ourselves to take bold steps toward our dreams and aspirations, transforming our lives in the process. The power to overcome these obstacles lies within us, waiting to be unleashed. Stress that success is often a result of perseverance. Many great achievements come from the relentless pursuit of a goal. We must cultivate a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth. Persistence is one of the most critical attributes that can lead us to success. While talent and intelligence are often celebrated, it is the ability to keep pushing forward, even in the face of adversity, that truly sets successful individuals apart from those who falter along the way. Many of the greatest achievements in history are not the results of sheer talent or luck, but rather the relentless pursuit of a goal and unwavering commitment to see things through, regardless of the challenges that arise. To understand the power of persistence, we must first acknowledge that the path to success is rarely linear. It is filled with twists, turns, setbacks, and obstacles. Along the way, we will encounter difficulties that test our resolve and challenge our dedication. This is where persistence becomes essential. It is the refusal to give up when faced with adversity, the determination to keep moving forward even when the odds seem stacked against us. When we embrace persistence, we begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Each obstacle we encounter can teach us valuable lessons that contribute to our development. For instance, setbacks can offer insights into our weaknesses and areas for improvement, helping us refine our approach and strategies. Rather than viewing failure as a defeat, we can reframe it as a stepping stone on our journey. This mindset allows us to cultivate resilience, which is the ability to bounce back and keep going even after experiencing disappointment. One of the most powerful aspects of persistence is that it builds character. As we face challenges and push through difficulties, we develop qualities such as determination, grit, and resilience. These traits not only contribute to our personal growth, but also enhance our ability to navigate future obstacles. The more we practice persistence, the stronger our resolve becomes. We learn that we are capable of overcoming adversity, and this realization empowers us to tackle even greater challenges in the future. Furthermore, persistence can create a compounding effect in our lives. Each small effort we make, each step we take toward our goals accumulates over time. The consistent application of effort leads to significant progress, even if it doesn't always feel that way in the moment. Many people give up just before they are about to achieve their goals, unaware that their persistence would have ultimately paid off. It is crucial to recognize that success often requires time and sustained effort. By maintaining a persistent mindset, we set ourselves up for eventual success, regardless of the timeline. Another important aspect of persistence is the role it plays in fostering innovation and creativity. When we encounter obstacles, our initial reactions may be frustration or despair. However, persistent individuals often respond to these challenges by seeking alternative solutions and new approaches. They become problem solvers who think outside the box and adapt their strategies to find ways forward. This willingness to explore new possibilities not only enhances our ability to achieve our goals, but also encourages growth and creativity. To cultivate persistence, we must also develop a clear vision of our goals. Knowing what we want to achieve provides us with a sense of direction and purpose. This clarity helps us stay focused, especially during difficult times. Additionally, setting realistic milestones along the way can provide motivation and a sense of accomplishment. Each time we achieve a milestone, we reinforce our commitment to our larger goal and build momentum that fuels our persistence. It is also essential to cultivate a support system that encourages persistence. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who believe in our goals and are willing to uplift us during tough times can make a significant difference. Whether through mentors, friends, or peers, having a network of support can provide the encouragement we need to keep pushing forward. Sharing our challenges and victories with others creates a sense of accountability that can further motivate us to stay persistent. Moreover, self-compassion plays a crucial role in sustaining our persistence. We must acknowledge that setbacks and failures are a natural part of the journey. Instead of being overly critical of ourselves during difficult times, we should practice self-kindness. Recognizing our efforts and giving ourselves grace allows us to maintain our motivation and commitment to our goals. It reminds us that persistence is not about being perfect. It is about continuing to move forward despite imperfections and setbacks. Finally, we must remember that persistence is not a solitary endeavor. It is intertwined with our willingness to learn and adapt. When we encounter challenges, we should take the time to reflect on our experiences, analyze what worked and what didn't, and adjust our strategies accordingly. This mindset of continuous improvement allows us to evolve as we pursue our goals, ultimately enhancing our chances of success. Persistence is a powerful force that can propel us toward our goals. By embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, developing a clear vision, cultivating a support system, practicing self-compassion, and committing to continuous learning, we can harness the transformative power of persistence. It is the relentless pursuit of our dreams that leads us to success, and through persistence, we can achieve greatness beyond what we once thought possible. Emphasize how effective time management is crucial for accomplishing tasks and reaching goals. Prioritizing tasks and using time wisely allows us to maximize productivity and minimize stress. Time is one of our most precious resources, yet it is often mismanaged and squandered. Effective time management is not merely about keeping a schedule, it is about prioritizing our tasks and making deliberate choices that align with our goals. In our fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere, and it can be easy to become overwhelmed by competing demands on our time. However, mastering the art of time management can significantly enhance our productivity and bring us closer to achieving our aspirations. To begin with, we must recognize that time management is fundamentally about making choices. Each day, we are faced with a multitude of tasks, responsibilities, and distractions. The key to effective time management lies in identifying which tasks are most important and aligning our actions accordingly. This requires a clear understanding of our goals and priorities. When we have a well-defined vision of what we want to achieve, we can better assess how to allocate our time. One of the most effective techniques for managing time is the practice of prioritization. Not all tasks are created equal, and some have a more significant impact on our goals than others. The Eisenhower matrix is a powerful tool for prioritization, helping us categorize tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. By focusing on the tasks that are both urgent and important, we can ensure that we are dedicating our time and energy to what truly matters. This strategic approach allows us to avoid the trap of busy work, spending time on tasks that give the illusion of productivity but do not contribute to our long-term goals. In addition to prioritization, effective time management involves setting clear and achievable deadlines. When we establish timelines for our tasks, we create a sense of urgency that motivates us to take action. Deadlines serve as milestones that help us stay accountable to our goals. However, it is essential to set realistic deadlines. Overly ambitious timelines can lead to stress and burnout. By breaking larger projects into smaller, manageable tasks with specific deadlines, we can maintain momentum and a sense of accomplishment along the way. Another vital aspect of time management is minimizing distractions. In today's digital age, distractions are rampant, from social media notifications to constant emails. To effectively manage our time, we must develop strategies to minimize these interruptions. This could involve creating a designated workspace, turning off notifications during focused work periods, or setting specific times to check emails and messages. By eliminating distractions, we can enhance our concentration and productivity, allowing us to accomplish more in less time. Time management also requires the ability to delegate tasks when appropriate. We often take on too much ourselves, believing that we must do everything. However, recognizing that we cannot do it all is a sign of strength, not weakness. Delegating tasks to others, whether colleagues, family members, or friends, can free up valuable time and energy. By entrusting others with responsibilities, we allow ourselves to focus on the tasks that align most closely with our strengths and goals. This not only enhances our productivity, but also fosters collaboration and teamwork. Moreover, incorporating breaks into our schedules is an essential element of effective time management. While it may seem counterintuitive, taking breaks can actually enhance our productivity and creativity. Working for extended periods without rest can lead to fatigue and diminished focus. By scheduling short breaks, we give our minds a chance to recharge, allowing us to return to our tasks with renewed energy and clarity. Techniques such as the Pomodoro technique, where we work in focused sprints followed by short breaks, can significantly improve our efficiency and effectiveness. It is also crucial to reflect regularly on how we are spending our time. Conducting a weekly review of our activities can provide valuable insights into where we may be wasting time or where we can improve our efficiency. This reflective practice encourages us to assess our priorities, celebrate our accomplishments, and make necessary adjustments for the following week. By maintaining this habit of self-assessment, we can continually refine our time management skills and stay aligned with our goals. Finally, we must acknowledge that effective time management is a skill that requires practice and commitment. It is not a one-time fix, rather, it is an ongoing process of learning and adaptation. As we encounter new challenges and responsibilities, our time management strategies may need to evolve. By remaining flexible and open to change, we can better navigate the complexities of our lives and maintain our focus on what truly matters. Effective time management is essential for accomplishing tasks and reaching our goals. By prioritizing our responsibilities, setting achievable deadlines, minimizing distractions, delegating tasks, incorporating breaks, and reflecting on our progress, we can maximize our productivity and minimize stress. Ultimately, mastering time management empowers us to take control of our lives and make meaningful strides toward achieving our aspirations. With this skill in our toolkit, we can transform our ambitions into realities and create the future we envision. Discuss the significance of maintaining a positive attitude. A positive mindset enables us to face challenges with optimism, fosters resilience, and enhances our overall well-being. A positive mindset is one of the most powerful tools we can cultivate in our pursuit of success. It is not simply about wearing rose-colored glasses or ignoring the reality of challenges. Rather, it is a deliberate choice to focus on the possibilities and opportunities that lie ahead. The significance of maintaining a positive attitude cannot be overstated, as it directly influences our ability to face challenges, build resilience, and enhance our overall well-being. First and foremost, a positive mindset shapes the way we perceive and respond to challenges. When we approach difficulties with a positive attitude, we are more likely to view them as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. This perspective allows us to embrace challenges as part of our journey, understanding that they can teach us valuable lessons and contribute to our personal development. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by adversity, we can maintain a sense of curiosity and determination to find solutions. This shift in thinking not only empowers us to take action, but also reduces feelings of stress and anxiety. Furthermore, cultivating a positive mindset fosters resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges, it is about how we respond to them. Individuals with a positive mindset tend to exhibit higher levels of resilience because they believe in their ability to overcome difficulties. They are more likely to adapt their strategies, learn from failures, and maintain their commitment to their goals. This resilience is crucial in navigating the inevitable ups and downs of life. When we face setbacks, a positive mindset encourages us to persevere, knowing that challenges are temporary and that we have the strength to overcome them. In addition to enhancing our ability to confront challenges, a positive mindset significantly impacts our overall well-being. Studies have shown that individuals who maintain a positive attitude experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. A positive mindset is linked to improved physical health, better immune function, and a greater sense of life satisfaction. When we choose to focus on the positive aspects of our lives, we cultivate an attitude of gratitude that enhances our overall perspective. This practice of gratitude helps us appreciate the small joys and successes in our daily lives, reinforcing our positive mindset. Moreover, a positive mindset influences our relationships with others. When we approach life with optimism, we are more likely to attract positive people into our lives. Our energy and attitude can be contagious, inspiring those around us to adopt a similar perspective. Positive individuals tend to be more supportive, encouraging, and empathetic, which fosters stronger connections and collaboration. This sense of community and support can be invaluable in our journey toward achieving our goals, as it provides us with a network of encouragement during challenging times. To cultivate a positive mindset, we must first become aware of our thoughts and beliefs. Many of us hold limiting beliefs that can hinder our progress. By challenging these negative thoughts and reframing them into positive affirmations, we can gradually shift our mindset. For example, instead of thinking, "I will never succeed," we can replace that with, "I have the skills and determination to achieve my goals." This practice of reframing helps to rewire our brains, promoting a more positive outlook on our abilities and potential. Another effective strategy for fostering a positive mindset is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being present in the moment and observing our thoughts without judgment. This awareness allows us to recognize negative thought patterns and replace them with positive ones. Through mindfulness, we can develop a greater sense of clarity and focus, which enhances our ability to navigate challenges with a calm and positive demeanor. Additionally, surrounding ourselves with positive influences can greatly impact our mindset. The people we associate with, the media we consume, and the environments we inhabit all contribute to our overall perspective. By consciously choosing to engage with uplifting and supportive individuals, we can reinforce our positive mindset. Engaging in activities that inspire us, such as reading motivational literature, attending workshops, or participating in community events, can also cultivate an optimistic outlook. It is also essential to practice self-care as part of maintaining a positive mindset. Taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being enhances our ability to cope with challenges. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient rest all contribute to our overall health and resilience. When we prioritize self-care, we equip ourselves with the energy and clarity needed to face challenges with a positive attitude. The impact of a positive mindset on our lives is profound. By choosing to maintain a positive attitude, we empower ourselves to face challenges with optimism, foster resilience, and enhance our overall well-being. A positive mindset not only shapes our perspective, but also influences our relationships, health, and ability to achieve our goals. By cultivating this essential quality, we unlock our potential and open ourselves to a world of possibilities, paving the way for success in every aspect of our lives. In our journey towards success, it is essential to recognize the interplay of decision-making, overcoming fear, persistence, effective time management, and maintaining a positive mindset. Each of these elements plays a crucial role in shaping our ability to achieve our goals. By making conscious decisions, confronting our fears, practicing persistence, managing our time wisely, and fostering positivity, we equip ourselves with the tools needed to navigate challenges and embrace opportunities. Ultimately, success is not merely a destination, but a journey marked by growth, resilience, and a steadfast commitment to our dreams. Let us embrace this journey with determination and faith. Thank you. Today, I want to talk to you about the 5 types of people that God blesses. If we look throughout the scriptures and the examples set before us, we see patterns, principles that govern the outpouring of God's blessings. God is not random in his blessings. There is a law, a principle that guides his hand. Let's explore together who those people are. The first type of person God blesses is the humble. Humility is a key that unlocks the heart of God. It is the foundation upon which true greatness is built in the kingdom of God. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself, but rather thinking of yourself less. It is the recognition that everything you have, everything you are, and everything you will ever become is because of the grace and mercy of God. To be humble is to know that you are completely dependent on God for every breath, every blessing, and every breakthrough in life. The humble person understands that their strength, their wisdom, and their accomplishments do not come from themselves, but from the hand of God. It is the acknowledgement that you are not the author of your destiny, but merely a steward of the gifts and opportunities that God has placed in your hands. Humility opens the door for God to work in your life because it positions you in a place of surrender where you can fully rely on His guidance, His provision, and His power. One of the most powerful examples of humility is found in the life of Jesus Christ. The Bible tells us that although He was equal with God, He did not consider equality with God something to be grasped. Instead, He humbled Himself, taking on the form of a servant and becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Jesus, the Son of God, the King of Kings, and the Lord of Lords, chose the path of humility. He demonstrated that true greatness comes through servanthood and that the way up in the kingdom of God is down. Jesus washed the feet of His disciples, teaching us that those who want to be first must be willing to be last and the servant of all. Humility is not just an attitude, it is a lifestyle. It is a way of living that consistently acknowledges the supremacy of God in every area of your life. When you are humble, you submit to God's will, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, and even when it doesn't make sense. Humility says, not my will, but your will be done. It is the willingness to lay down your plans, your ambitions, and your desires in exchange for God's higher purpose. That the Bible tells us that God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. Pride, on the other hand, is the enemy of humility. It is the mindset that says, I can do it on my own. I don't need anyone else. I am self-sufficient. But pride leads to destruction because it cuts you off from the grace of God. When you are proud, you rely on your own strength, your own wisdom, and your own abilities. But humility recognizes that without God, you can do nothing. It is only through His strength that you are able to succeed. When you humble yourself before God, you position yourself to receive His grace, His favor, and His blessings. Humility also affects the way you relate to others. A humble person does not seek recognition or validation from people, but instead seeks to honor and serve others. Humility allows you to celebrate the success of others without feeling threatened or jealous. It frees you from the need to compete, to prove yourself, or to be in the spotlight. When you are humble, you understand that you are part of a larger body and that each person has a unique role to play. You are content with your assignment, knowing that God has placed you exactly where He wants you to be. Furthermore, humility is reflected in your willingness to learn and to grow. A humble person is teachable. They are open to correction and are willing to admit when they are wrong. They recognize that they don't have all the answers and that they still have room for growth. Humility is the ability to listen to others, to receive feedback, and to acknowledge that there is wisdom to be gained from every experience and every person. It is the recognition that no matter how much you have achieved or how far you have come, there is always more to learn. The humble also understand that they are called to serve, not to be served. They do not seek positions of authority for the sake of power, but rather see leadership as an opportunity to serve others. They recognize that leadership in the kingdom of God is not about titles or status, but about lifting others up, empowering them, and helping them fulfill their God-given potential. A humble leader does not seek to control or dominate, but to guide and support those under their care. God blesses the humble because they have positioned themselves to be used by Him. They are vessels that God can pour into because they are not full of themselves. Humility creates space for God to move in your life. When you are humble, you are able to hear God's voice more clearly because you are not consumed with your own thoughts, your own desires, or your own agenda. You are sensitive to the leading of the Holy Spirit because you are willing to lay aside your plans for His plans. Humility is also the key to experiencing true peace and contentment. A humble person is not striving for recognition, success, or approval. They are secure in their identity in Christ and are content with what God has given them. They are not anxious about the future because they trust that God is in control. Humility allows you to rest in the knowledge that God is your provider, your protector, and your source of strength. Humility is the foundation upon which God's blessings are built. It is the pathway to greatness in the kingdom of God, and it positions you to receive the fullness of His grace, His favor, and His provision. The second type of person that God blesses is the obedient. Obedience to God is an expression of our faith and trust in Him. It is the willingness to align our actions with His word and His will, even when we do not fully understand the reasons behind His commands. In the kingdom of God, obedience is not just about following rules, it is about cultivating a relationship with the Creator. When we choose to obey God, we demonstrate that we value His wisdom above our own understanding. Obedience begins with the heart. It is an attitude of surrender and submission to God's authority. When we truly grasp the depth of God's love for us, obedience becomes a joyful response to His goodness. It is the realization that God's instructions are not burdensome, but are designed for our benefit. His commandments guide us toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and blessing. The psalmist declares, "I delight to do your will, O my God, and your laws within my heart." This delight in obedience comes from understanding that God's ways are higher than our ways and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Throughout the Bible, we see numerous examples of individuals whose lives were profoundly impacted by their obedience to God. Consider Abraham, who was called the father of faith. He demonstrated remarkable obedience when God instructed him to leave his homeland and journey to a land he had never seen. Abraham's obedience was not contingent on understanding the entire plan. It was rooted in his relationship with God. Because of his faith and willingness to obey, God blessed Abraham abundantly, making him the father of many nations. Abraham's story teaches us that obedience can lead to divine blessings beyond our imagination. Obedience also requires us to respond to God's prompting in our daily lives. Sometimes it is not the grand gestures that define our obedience, but the small, everyday choices we make. God calls us to be obedient in the mundane, in the routine, in our interactions with others, and in our stewardship of the resources He has entrusted to us. Each time we choose to act in alignment with His principles, whether it's showing kindness to a stranger, being honest in our dealings, or extending grace to those who have wronged us, we are reinforcing our commitment to obedience. In these moments, we are demonstrating that our allegiance is to God and His ways, which in turn invites His blessings into our lives. Moreover, obedience often involves a process of testing. God may lead us into situations where our obedience is challenged. This testing is not meant to harm us, but to refine us and strengthen our faith. Think of the Israelites wandering in the wilderness. They faced trials that tested their trust in God's provision. Instead of focusing on their circumstances, they were called to remain obedient to God's commands, trusting that He would lead them to the promised land. Their journey teaches us that obedience during trials can shape our character and deepen our relationship with God. It is also important to recognize that obedience is a choice we make every day. We live in a world filled with distractions, temptations, and conflicting values. To remain obedient to God's word requires intentionality and resolve. It means making conscious decisions that reflect our commitment to follow Him. The Apostle Paul encourages us to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, emphasizing that obedience is a holistic surrender of ourselves to God's purposes. When we live obediently, we align ourselves with God's promises. The Bible is full of declarations of the blessings that come from obedience. In Deuteronomy, God promises if you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all His commands, all these blessings will come on you and accompany you. God's blessings are not arbitrary. They are linked to our willingness to obey His word. When we choose to walk in obedience, we open the floodgates for God to pour out His favor, provision, and protection over our lives. Obedience also fosters a deeper intimacy with God. When we obey Him, we demonstrate our trust in His character. We come to know Him as our shepherd, our provider, and our protector. Each step of obedience strengthens our faith and reinforces the truth that God is faithful to his promises. It is through this journey of obedience that we learn to hear his voice more clearly and recognize his leading in our lives. As we cultivate a lifestyle of obedience, we become a testimony to others. Our actions speak louder than words. When people see us living out our faith through obedience, they are drawn to the light of Christ within us. Our obedience becomes a powerful witness, inviting others to seek a relationship with God and to experience the blessings that come from following him. In the kingdom of God, obedience is not merely an obligation, it is a privilege. It is an opportunity to partner with God in his divine plan. When we choose to obey, we align ourselves with his purpose, allowing him to work through us and in us. God blesses the obedient because they reflect his heart and his character. They are vessels of his love, grace, and truth in a world that desperately needs to see the light of Christ. The third type of person that God blesses is the faithful. Faithfulness is a characteristic that goes beyond mere belief. It embodies loyalty, steadfastness, and an unwavering commitment to God and his promises. When we talk about being faithful, we are referring to a deep-rooted trust in God, one that persists even in the face of adversity, doubt, and challenges. Faithfulness is the firm assurance that God will fulfill his word no matter the circumstances we find ourselves in. To be faithful means to remain true to God's calling and his purposes for our lives. It involves a daily choice to believe in God's goodness and to trust that he is working all things together for our good, even when we cannot see the outcome. In the book of Hebrews, we are encouraged to hold unswervingly to the hope we profess. For he who promised is faithful. This assurance invites us to anchor our lives in the truth that God is reliable and that his promises are sure. When we embrace this truth, we cultivate a spirit of faithfulness that can weather any storm. Throughout the Bible, we find examples of individuals whose faithfulness changed the course of history. Consider Daniel, who remained faithful to God even in the face of persecution. When a decree was issued that forbade prayer to anyone but the king, Daniel chose to continue his practice of praying to God 3 times a day. His faithfulness led him to a den of lions, but God protected him because of his unwavering trust and commitment. Daniel's story illustrates that faithfulness does not mean the absence of trials. Instead, it means standing firm in your convictions despite the odds. God blesses those who demonstrate faithfulness because they reflect his character and commitment to his people. Faithfulness also requires perseverance. Life is filled with ups and downs, and it is easy to remain faithful when things are going well. However, true faithfulness shines in times of difficulty. The Apostle Paul, writing to Timothy, encouraged him to fight the good fight of faith. This metaphor of fighting implies that there will be challenges to face and battles to win. Faithful individuals press on, holding on to the promises of God and continuing to fulfill their assignments, even when the journey is tough. Their steadfastness is a testament to their trust in God's plan, knowing that he is faithful to his word. Moreover, faithfulness is not just a personal journey, it impacts those around us. Our faithfulness can inspire and encourage others to remain steadfast in their faith. In our relationships, whether in family, friendships, or ministry, being faithful creates a foundation of trust and security. When we are consistent in our words and actions, we become reliable examples of God's faithfulness to others. Our commitment can influence those who are struggling, showing them the beauty of unwavering faith and the blessings that come from a steadfast heart. In addition, faithfulness manifests in our commitments to God's work. When God entrusts us with responsibilities, whether in our jobs, our ministries, or our families, being faithful means executing those duties with diligence and integrity. Jesus spoke of this in the parable of the talents, where he commended the servants who were faithful with what they were given. God desires to bless those who prove themselves trustworthy stewards of the gifts, resources, and opportunities he provides. When we are faithful in little, God honors that faithfulness by increasing our responsibilities and blessings. Faithfulness also involves a willingness to endure and remain committed to our calling. It is about holding on to the vision that God has placed in our hearts, even when obstacles arise. The journey of faith can sometimes feel long and daunting, but God honors those who remain faithful to his purpose. The Bible reminds us, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This promise encourages us to stay the course and remain diligent, knowing that God rewards our faithfulness in due time. Furthermore, being faithful requires us to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. When we focus on the blessings we have received and the faithfulness of God in our lives, it becomes easier to remain committed. Gratitude fosters a heart that recognizes God's hand in our lives, leading us to trust him even more. It helps us to recall his past faithfulness, which serves as a reminder of his ability to fulfill his promises in the future. When we cultivate gratitude, we nurture our faithfulness, allowing it to flourish and grow. God also calls us to be faithful in prayer. Prayer is an expression of our relationship with God, and being faithful in this discipline allows us to draw closer to him. As we communicate with God regularly, we cultivate a deeper trust and understanding of his heart. Faithful prayer empowers us to persevere in our faith, intercede for others, and align our desires with God's will. In moments of uncertainty, prayer becomes our anchor, reinforcing our faithfulness and reliance on God's wisdom. Faithfulness is a powerful characteristic that God blesses. It is an unwavering commitment to trust in his promises, persevere through challenges, and remain steadfast in our calling. The faithful reflect God's heart, inspire others, and serve as vessels through which his blessings flow. God rewards the faithful, not only with his presence, but with the abundant life he has promised. Each act of faithfulness brings us closer to the fulfillment of God's purpose and plan, enabling us to experience the richness of his blessings in our lives. The fourth type of person that God blesses is the generous. Generosity is not merely about financial giving. It encompasses a broader perspective of being willing to share and give of oneself in various ways. A generous heart is one that seeks to bless others without expecting anything in return. It reflects the very nature of God, who is the ultimate giver, and it creates a ripple effect of blessings that can transform lives and communities. To be generous is to acknowledge that everything we have comes from God. Our time, talents, and resources are gifts from him. And with that understanding comes a sense of responsibility to use those gifts for the benefit of others. In 2 Corinthians, we are reminded that God loves a cheerful giver. This verse underscores the attitude behind generosity. It should not be a burden or obligation, but rather a joyful expression of gratitude for what we have received. When we give generously, we mirror God's love and grace, and we allow his blessings to flow through us. Generosity is deeply rooted in the understanding that there is more than enough to go around. In a world that often promotes scarcity and competition, a generous person believes in abundance. They trust that God will provide for their needs, and that sharing with others does not diminish what they have, but rather multiplies it. Jesus illustrated this principle when he fed the 5,000 with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Through a simple act of sharing, he demonstrated that God can take what seems insufficient and make it more than enough when it is offered with a generous heart. The impact of generosity goes far beyond the immediate act of giving. It fosters relationships and builds community. When we choose to be generous, we open the door for connection and create an atmosphere of trust and support. Generosity breaks down barriers and encourages collaboration. In Acts, we see the early church exemplifying this principle as believers shared their possessions and ensured that no one was in need. This sense of community born out of generosity allowed the church to thrive and grow in faith and numbers. Moreover, generosity invites God's blessings into our lives. The Bible teaches that when we give, we will receive in return, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This principle is not transactional, it is a divine promise. God blesses the generous because they reflect his heart and his mission to bless others. Their willingness to give is an investment in God's kingdom, and he honors that commitment with his abundance. Generosity creates an open channel for God's blessings to flow, not just to the giver, but also to those around them. In addition to being a blessing to others, generosity has profound effects on our own hearts and minds. It cultivates a spirit of gratitude and contentment. When we focus on giving rather than accumulating, we begin to see the world through a lens of appreciation. Generous people are often more joyful as they find fulfillment in serving and uplifting others. They recognize that true happiness comes not from what we possess, but from what we can share. Generosity also encourages us to step outside of ourselves. In a society that often promotes individualism and self-centeredness, being generous challenges us to think about the needs of others. It invites us to serve those who may be less fortunate, to lend a helping hand to someone in need, or to offer our time and talents for the betterment of our communities. Acts of kindness and generosity can take many forms, from volunteering at a local charity to providing emotional support to a friend in distress. Each act of generosity is an opportunity to show the love of Christ to those around us. Furthermore, being generous can inspire others to do the same. When we exemplify a lifestyle of generosity, we set an example for our families, friends, and communities. Our actions can encourage others to open their hearts and wallets, creating a culture of giving that has the potential to change lives. We become a catalyst for generosity, sparking a movement of kindness that can reach far beyond our immediate circle. This ripple effect can have lasting impacts, leading to a more compassionate and connected world. It is also important to recognize that generosity is not just about monetary gifts. It can involve sharing our time, knowledge, and talents. Mentoring someone, volunteering for a cause you believe in, or simply offering a listening ear to someone in need are all acts of generosity. When we give of ourselves in these ways, we invest in the lives of others and contribute to their growth and well-being. Moreover, generosity requires discernment. It is important to be wise in our giving, ensuring that our resources are used effectively to help those in need. This means being aware of the needs around us and responding in ways that are impactful. Sometimes being generous means providing for someone's immediate needs, while other times it may involve empowering them to become self-sufficient. True generosity is characterized by a heart that seeks to understand and address the root causes of need, rather than just offering temporary relief. Generosity is a powerful principle that God blesses. It reflects His heart and character, creates community, and invites His abundant blessings into our lives. By embracing a generous lifestyle, we become instruments of His love and grace, transforming our world one act of kindness at a time. God blesses the generous because they understand the true nature of abundance and are willing to share the blessings they have received. In a world that often emphasizes scarcity, generosity stands as a testament to the fact that there is always enough to share when we are willing to give from our hearts. The fifth type of person that God blesses is the seeker. A seeker is someone who actively pursues a relationship with God, desires to know Him more deeply, and earnestly seeks His presence, guidance, and wisdom in their lives. This pursuit is not merely a passive longing, but an active, intentional journey that reflects a hunger for spiritual truth and a longing for a closer walk with God. The Bible promises, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." This promise reveals the heart of God, who desires a genuine relationship with those who earnestly seek Him. To be a seeker is to acknowledge that we are on a journey of discovery. It involves recognizing that knowing God is a lifelong process, one that requires diligence and commitment. Seekers are not satisfied with surface-level knowledge. They yearn for a deeper understanding of God's character, His ways, and His purposes. This desire drives them to immerse themselves in His Word, to engage in prayer, and to be open to the leading of the Holy Spirit. It is through this intentional pursuit that seekers experience the transformative power of God in their lives. The act of seeking God involves a willingness to explore the depths of faith. It requires us to ask questions, wrestle with doubts, and confront our misconceptions. Seekers are not afraid to delve into the mysteries of God, understanding that their questions can lead to greater revelations. In this pursuit, they may discover new insights, deepen their understanding of Scripture, and cultivate a richer relationship with God. This journey of exploration brings a sense of purpose and fulfillment as seekers uncover the truths that shape their lives and faith. Throughout the Scriptures, we see numerous examples of individuals who embody the heart of a seeker. David, for instance, is often referred to as a man after God's own heart. His Psalms reveal a deep longing for God's presence and an earnest desire to know him intimately. David sought God in both times of trouble and moments of joy, demonstrating that the pursuit of God is not limited to specific circumstances, but is a continuous journey. His example teaches us that a heart that seeks God will find him and experience his blessings. Furthermore, seekers cultivate an attitude of humility. They recognize that they do not have all the answers and are open to learning from others. This humility fosters a teachable spirit, allowing them to grow in wisdom and understanding. The more we seek God, the more we realize the vastness of his knowledge and the depth of his love. This realization leads to a greater appreciation for his grace and mercy, transforming our perspective on life and our relationships with others. Being a seeker also means embracing the journey, understanding that the path to spiritual maturity is not always linear. There will be seasons of doubt, struggle, and questioning, but these experiences are integral to the process of seeking God. The prophet Jeremiah reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope in a future." When we approach our journey with the confidence that God has a purpose for our seeking, we can navigate the challenges with faith, knowing that he is shaping us along the way. Moreover, seekers often find themselves surrounded by a community of fellow believers who share their desire for a deeper relationship with God. This community provides encouragement, accountability, and support as they embark on their spiritual journeys. In Proverbs, we are reminded that iron sharpens iron, emphasizing the importance of surrounding ourselves with those who will challenge and inspire us in our faith. Together, seekers can engage in discussions, share insights, and pray for one another, creating an environment where spiritual growth can flourish. The pursuit of God also leads seekers to a life of worship. True worship is rooted in a deep understanding of who God is and a recognition of his greatness. As seekers draw closer to God, their hearts become attuned to his presence, prompting them to respond with awe and gratitude. Worship becomes a natural outflow of their relationship with God, reflecting their love and reverence for him. In this place of worship, seekers experience the joy and fulfillment that comes from being in the presence of the Almighty. Moreover, the blessings that God bestows upon seekers are often transformative. As they encounter God in profound ways, they begin to reflect his character in their own lives. The fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control become evident in their interactions with others. This transformation not only blesses the seeker, but also serves as a testimony to those around them, drawing others to the beauty of a life devoted to God. In addition, seekers experience God's guidance and wisdom in their decision-making. As they seek God earnestly, he promises to direct their paths and grant them insight into his will. The seeking heart is one that is attentive to the leading of the Holy Spirit, and this responsiveness opens the door for divine revelations and clarity. The more we seek God's guidance, the more attuned we become to his voice, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with confidence and assurance. Finally, seekers are often blessed with a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. In a world filled with uncertainty and chaos, the pursuit of God provides a solid foundation. Seekers find comfort in knowing that God is with them, guiding them every step of the way. This peace transcends circumstances, allowing them to face trials and tribulations with unwavering faith. The blessings of a seeking heart lead to a deeper sense of purpose and a more profound connection with God, enriching their lives and the lives of those they encounter. The seeker is blessed by God because they are actively pursuing a relationship with him, longing to know him more deeply. This pursuit fosters spiritual growth, humility, and a vibrant community of fellow believers. The blessings that come from being a seeker are abundant, transforming lives, guiding decisions, and imparting peace that surpasses all understanding. In the journey of seeking God, we find not only his blessings, but also the fulfillment of our deepest desires as we draw closer to the one who loves us unconditionally. As we reflect on the 5 types of people that God blesses: the humble, the faithful, the generous, the seeker, and the righteous, we recognize that each of these characteristics invites us into a deeper relationship with him. Each type embodies a unique expression of faith and a commitment to living out God's purpose in our lives. The humble receive grace and wisdom. The faithful experience God's promises and guidance. The generous find abundance, and giving the seekers discover transformative revelations, and the righteous walk in alignment with God's will. These qualities are not merely attributes to aspire to, they are invitations to engage in a dynamic relationship with our Creator. When we embody these characteristics, we align ourselves with God's heart, opening the door for His blessings to flow into our lives and the lives of those around us. As we strive to live as humble, faithful, generous, seeking, and righteous individuals, let us remember that God delights in blessing those who pursue Him wholeheartedly. May we embrace this call to embody these qualities, trusting that in doing so, we become conduits of His love, grace, and blessings in a world that desperately needs them. Let us step forward, knowing that our journey is filled with divine promise and purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great excitement that we gather here today to explore a powerful principle that governs our existence, the art of speaking to the universe. This concept is not just a whimsical notion, it is a profound truth that connects us to the infinite possibilities that await us. First, we must set clear intentions. Setting clear intentions is a powerful and transformative practice that lays the groundwork for achieving our desires and manifesting our dreams. It is not merely a wish or a fleeting thought. It is an intentional act of defining what we truly desire and articulating it with clarity. The clarity of our intentions shapes the direction of our lives and sends a strong message to the universe about what we want to attract. To set clear intentions, we first need to understand the significance of knowing ourselves deeply. Often we rush through life without taking the time to reflect on our true desires. This reflection requires honesty and vulnerability. It demands that we look within ourselves and confront our dreams and aspirations head on. It's essential to ask ourselves critical questions. What do I really want? What brings me joy? What are my passions? What is my purpose? By taking the time to answer these questions, we begin to illuminate the path to our intentions. Once we have identified our desires, the next step is to articulate them clearly. Words have power. They shape our reality and influence the world around us. In the book of Proverbs, we are reminded that death and life are in the power of the tongue, Proverbs 18:21. This verse highlights the importance of speaking our intentions into existence. When we articulate our desires, we not only clarify them for ourselves, but we also send a message to the universe that we are ready to receive what we are asking for. The act of speaking our intentions aloud gives them life and energy. In articulating our intentions, it is crucial to be specific. Vague intentions lead to vague results. For example, instead of saying, I want to be successful, we might specify, I want to achieve a promotion at work by the end of the year. Specificity provides a clear target for our focus and energy, making it easier for the universe to respond to our desires. It helps us to visualize our goals and gives us a clear direction in which to move. Additionally, the emotional component of our intentions cannot be overlooked. When we set intentions, it is vital to connect with the feelings associated with achieving those desires. What emotions do you envision feeling once your intention is realized? Is it joy, peace, excitement, or fulfillment? Connecting with these emotions creates a powerful, energetic signature that resonates with the universe. It's a way of embodying our intentions as if they have already come to pass. As stated in Mark 11:24, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This scripture encourages us to embody the feelings of receiving what we desire, thus reinforcing our intentions. Moreover, it is essential to maintain a mindset of openness and receptivity. While setting clear intentions is crucial, we must also be open to the ways in which those intentions may manifest. The universe may deliver our desires in unexpected ways. It is vital to remain flexible and willing to accept the possibilities that may come our way. Sometimes the path to our desires may require us to step outside of our comfort zones, embrace new opportunities, or let go of limiting beliefs that hold us back. In Romans 12:2, we are reminded, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. This renewal process enables us to see beyond our current circumstances and be receptive to the new possibilities that align with our intentions. In addition to setting clear intentions, it is helpful to visualize our desires as if they are already fulfilled. Visualization is a powerful technique that can enhance the manifestation process. By creating vivid mental images of our goals, we engage our senses and emotions, which deepens our connection to our intentions. For instance, if our intention is to travel to a new destination, we can visualize ourselves experiencing the sights, sounds, and feelings of being in that place. This practice aligns our thoughts and emotions with our desires, making them more tangible and achievable. Furthermore, writing down our intentions can solidify our commitment to them. When we put pen to paper, we create a physical representation of our desires. This act serves as a reminder of our intentions and helps us stay focused on our goals. It's a declaration of what we want to create in our lives. In Habakkuk 2:2, we are encouraged to write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. This verse highlights the power of written intentions as a guiding force for our lives. Setting clear intentions is an act of faith. It requires us to trust that the universe is aligned with our desires and that we are worthy of receiving what we ask for. As we take the time to define our desires and articulate them with clarity, we open the door to limitless possibilities. The journey of setting intentions is not just about achieving external goals. It is about aligning ourselves with our true purpose and creating a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. By committing to this practice, we tap into the infinite potential that lies within us and co-create our reality with the universe. Next, visualize your goals. Visualizing your goals is an essential component of the manifestation process. This powerful technique goes beyond mere daydreaming. It involves using your imagination to create a vivid and compelling mental picture of your desires as if they have already been realized. Visualization serves as a bridge between your intentions and the universe, helping you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your goals. To begin the practice of visualization, it is vital to create a serene space where you can focus your thoughts. This space should be free from distractions, allowing you to connect deeply with your inner self and your desires. Take a few moments to relax and center yourself. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and clear your mind. Once you feel calm, begin to picture your goal in as much detail as possible. Imagine not only what you want, but also how it would feel to achieve it. Engage all of your senses in this process. What do you see, hear, and feel? For instance, if your goal is to own a successful business, visualize yourself walking into your office, feeling the excitement and pride of your accomplishment. Picture the interactions with your team, the satisfaction of your customers, and the impact your business has on your community. Feel the emotions associated with your success, joy, fulfillment, gratitude, allowing these feelings to resonate within you. The Bible provides a profound example of visualization in the story of Abraham. God told Abraham to look at the stars and count them, stating that his descendants would be as numerous. Genesis 15:5. This imagery served as a powerful visual representation of God's promise to Abraham, enabling him to envision a future that seemed impossible at the time. In the same way, we can use visualization to create a mental landscape that embodies our desires. Visualization is not just a one-time event. It is a practice that requires consistency and dedication. Make it a daily habit to visualize your goals. Some people find it helpful to incorporate visualization into their morning or evening routines, using this time to immerse themselves in their dreams. The more you visualize, the stronger your connection to your desires becomes. This consistent practice reinforces your intentions and keeps your goals at the forefront of your mind. Moreover, it is essential to maintain a positive mindset during this process. Self-doubt and negative thoughts can create barriers that prevent you from fully embracing your visualization practice. Acknowledge any limiting beliefs that may arise, but do not let them deter you. Instead, replace those negative thoughts with affirmations that reinforce your ability to achieve your goals. Remind yourself that you are capable and deserving of success. This alignment of positive thoughts with your visualization enhances the effectiveness of the practice. In addition to visualization, consider creating a vision board. This visual representation of your goal serves as a constant reminder of what you are working towards. Gather images, quotes, and symbols that resonate with your aspirations and arrange them on a board. Place this vision board in a prominent location where you can see it daily. Each time you glance at it, take a moment to visualize your goals and feel the emotions associated with their achievement. This practice keeps your desires alive in your mind and helps you maintain focus on your intentions. The power of visualization extends beyond personal goals. It can also impact your relationships and interactions with others. When you visualize positive interactions, you set the stage for harmonious relationships. Picture yourself communicating effectively, resolving conflicts, and nurturing connections with loved ones. This proactive approach not only fosters positive outcomes, but also enhances your confidence in navigating social situations. As you visualize your goals, remember that this practice works hand in hand with faith and action. Visualization is not a substitute for effort, rather. It complements your actions by providing clarity and motivation. It prepares your mind and spirit to embrace the opportunities that come your way. In James 2:17, we are reminded that faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Visualization fuels your faith, enabling you to take inspired action toward your goals. Additionally, as you visualize, remain open to the possibility that your goals may evolve over time. Life is dynamic, and as you grow and gain new experiences, your desires may shift. Embrace this evolution with flexibility and curiosity. Regularly revisit and refine your visualization practice to align with your current aspirations and values. Visualization is a powerful tool that enables you to connect deeply with your goals and aspirations. By immersing yourself in the experience of achieving your desires, you align your thoughts and emotions with the universe, creating a powerful energetic resonance. Through consistent practice, positive mindset, and a willingness to embrace change, visualization can transform your dreams into reality, empowering you to live a life that reflects your highest potential. Gratitude is the next step in our journey. Expressing gratitude is a transformative practice that profoundly enhances our ability to connect with the universe and manifest our desires. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already possess, creating an abundant mindset. When we cultivate a spirit of thankfulness, we align ourselves with the frequency of abundance, which opens the door to even more blessings in our lives. At its core, gratitude is an acknowledgement of the gifts and blessings we have received. It requires us to pause and reflect on the myriad of things we often take for granted: our health, our relationships, our opportunities, and even the challenges that help us grow. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18, we are reminded, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." This scripture encourages us to adopt a grateful heart, recognizing that gratitude is not just a response to positive experiences, but a mindset we can cultivate in every circumstance. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to transform our perspective. When we express gratitude, we shift our focus from scarcity to abundance. This shift is essential for effective communication with the universe. Instead of dwelling on what we don't have, we celebrate what we do possess. This positive focus creates a magnetic energy that attracts more of what we desire. As we express gratitude for the blessings already in our lives, we signal to the universe that we are ready and open to receiving even more. To practice gratitude effectively, consider keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, take a few moments to write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. These can range from small moments, like enjoying a warm cup of coffee, to significant achievements, such as reaching a personal milestone. Writing these down not only reinforces your feelings of gratitude, but also provides a tangible reminder of the blessings in your life. Over time, this practice helps to rewire your brain to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of your daily experiences. In addition to journaling, expressing gratitude verbally is equally powerful. Take the time to thank the people in your life, family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers for their contributions and support. A simple thank you can create a ripple effect of positivity, strengthening relationships and fostering a sense of connection. In Luke 17:19, we find the story of the 10 lepers who were healed by Jesus, but only one returned to express gratitude. Jesus said, Were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? This story illustrates the importance of acknowledging and expressing gratitude for the blessings we receive. Another effective practice is to create a gratitude ritual. This can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning to reflect on what you are grateful for before starting your day. Alternatively, you can incorporate gratitude into your evening routine by reflecting on the day's positive moments. These rituals serve as powerful anchors, helping you maintain a consistent focus on gratitude amidst the hustle and bustle of daily life. Gratitude is also about embracing a mindset of abundance in challenging times. Life is filled with ups and downs, and during difficult moments, it can be easy to fall into a mindset of lack and negativity. However, even in adversity, there are lessons and growth opportunities to be grateful for. This perspective not only helps us navigate tough times with resilience, but also reinforces our connection to the universe. As stated in Philippians 4:6-7, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. This scripture encourages us to approach our challenges with a grateful heart, inviting peace into our circumstances. Additionally, expressing gratitude can enhance our well-being and overall happiness. Studies have shown that individuals who practice gratitude regularly experience lower levels of stress, increased levels of optimism, and improved relationships. This positive emotional state contributes to a higher vibration, making us more receptive to the abundance the universe has to offer. When we radiate positivity and joy, we attract like energies, creating a cycle of gratitude and abundance. As we embrace the practice of gratitude, it is essential to remember that it is an ongoing journey rather than a destination. Each day presents new opportunities to express appreciation for the blessings in our lives. The more we practice gratitude, the more it becomes ingrained in our mindset. This consistent focus helps us cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves, others, and the universe. Expressing gratitude is a powerful way to communicate with the universe and align ourselves with the abundance we seek. By shifting our focus from scarcity to abundance, we open ourselves to receive more blessings in our lives. Through journaling, verbal expressions of thanks, and gratitude rituals, we create a consistent practice that fosters positivity and joy. Ultimately, gratitude is not just a reaction to our circumstances, it is a transformative mindset that allows us to embrace life fully and attract the desires of our hearts. In addition, let us practice affirmations. Practicing affirmations is a powerful method for speaking to the universe and shaping our reality. Affirmations are positive, declarative statements that reflect our goals, desires, and values. By regularly reciting affirmations, we train our minds to focus on the possibilities and potential within us, rather than the limitations that often hold us back. This practice not only reinforces our intentions, but also aligns our thoughts and beliefs with the universe's abundance. At the heart of affirmations is the understanding that our words and thoughts have tremendous power. In Proverbs 18:21, we are reminded that death and life are in the power of the tongue. This verse highlights the profound impact our words can have on our lives. When we speak affirmatively, we create a positive narrative that influences our thoughts, emotions, and ultimately our actions. The language we use shapes our self-perception and determines the reality we experience. To effectively practice affirmations, it is essential to create statements that resonate with us personally. Affirmations should be specific, positive, and stated in the present tense as if they are already true. For instance, instead of saying, I want to be successful, an affirmation could be, I am successful and thriving in my career. This shift in phrasing reinforces a sense of ownership and belief in the desired outcome. In crafting affirmations, it's crucial to align them with our core values and goals. Reflect on what truly matters to you and what you want to manifest in your life. Consider aspects such as health, relationships, career, and personal growth. By developing affirmations that resonate with your deepest desires, you create a powerful tool for transformation. Incorporating affirmations into your daily routine is essential for their effectiveness. Find moments throughout your day when you can recite your affirmations with intention. This could be during your morning routine, while commuting, or as part of your meditation practice. The key is to speak them with conviction and emotion, allowing the words to resonate deeply within you. Feel the energy of each affirmation as you recite it, visualizing the reality you are creating. As you practice affirmations, it is important to cultivate a mindset of belief and receptivity. Self-doubt and negative thoughts may arise, attempting to undermine your affirmations. Acknowledge these thoughts, but do not let them define your reality. Instead, counter them with your affirmations. For example, if you find yourself thinking, I can't do this, counter that with the affirmation, I am capable and confident in my abilities. This practice creates a powerful internal dialogue that reinforces your commitment to your goals. Another effective approach is to create an affirmation card or a vision board that visually represents your affirmations. Write your affirmations on cards and place them in prominent locations, such as your mirror, desk, or refrigerator. These visual reminders serve as daily affirmations of your intentions and keep you focused on your goals. A vision board can also encapsulate your affirmations alongside images that represent your desires, further enhancing your visualization practice. The impact of affirmations is not limited to individual goals. They can also be used to foster positive relationships and enhance interactions with others. For instance, affirmations such as I attract loving and supportive people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great excitement that we gather here today to explore a powerful principle that governs our existence, the art of speaking to the universe. This concept is not just a whimsical notion, it is a profound truth that connects us to the infinite possibilities that await us. First, we must set clear intentions. Setting clear intentions is a powerful and transformative practice that lays the groundwork for achieving our desires and manifesting our dreams. It is not merely a wish or a fleeting thought. It is an intentional act of defining what we truly desire and articulating it with clarity. The clarity of our intentions shapes the direction of our lives and sends a strong message to the universe about what we want to attract. To set clear intentions, we first need to understand the significance of knowing ourselves deeply. Often we rush through life without taking the time to reflect on our true desires. This reflection requires honesty and vulnerability. It demands that we look within ourselves and confront our dreams and aspirations head on. It's essential to ask ourselves critical questions. What do I really want? What brings me joy? What are my passions? What is my purpose? By taking the time to answer these questions, we begin to illuminate the path to our intentions. Once we have identified our desires, the next step is to articulate them clearly. Words have power. They shape our reality and influence the world around us. In the book of Proverbs, we are reminded that death and life are in the power of the tongue, Proverbs 18:21. This verse highlights the importance of speaking our intentions into existence. When we articulate our desires, we not only clarify them for ourselves, but we also send a message to the universe that we are ready to receive what we are asking for. The act of speaking our intentions aloud gives them life and energy. In articulating our intentions, it is crucial to be specific. Vague intentions lead to vague results. For example, instead of saying, I want to be successful, we might specify, I want to achieve a promotion at work by the end of the year. Specificity provides a clear target for our focus and energy, making it easier for the universe to respond to our desires. It helps us to visualize our goals and gives us a clear direction in which to move. Additionally, the emotional component of our intentions cannot be overlooked. When we set intentions, it is vital to connect with the feelings associated with achieving those desires. What emotions do you envision feeling once your intention is realized? Is it joy, peace, excitement, or fulfillment? Connecting with these emotions creates a powerful, energetic signature that resonates with the universe. It's a way of embodying our intentions as if they have already come to pass. As stated in Mark 11:24, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This scripture encourages us to embody the feelings of receiving what we desire, thus reinforcing our intentions. Moreover, it is essential to maintain a mindset of openness and receptivity. While setting clear intentions is crucial, we must also be open to the ways in which those intentions may manifest. The universe may deliver our desires in unexpected ways. It is vital to remain flexible and willing to accept the possibilities that may come our way. Sometimes the path to our desires may require us to step outside of our comfort zones, embrace new opportunities, or let go of limiting beliefs that hold us back. In Romans 12:2, we are reminded, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. This renewal process enables us to see beyond our current circumstances and be receptive to the new possibilities that align with our intentions. In addition to setting clear intentions, it is helpful to visualize our desires as if they are already fulfilled. Visualization is a powerful technique that can enhance the manifestation process. By creating vivid mental images of our goals, we engage our senses and emotions, which deepens our connection to our intentions. For instance, if our intention is to travel to a new destination, we can visualize ourselves experiencing the sights, sounds, and feelings of being in that place. This practice aligns our thoughts and emotions with our desires, making them more tangible and achievable. Furthermore, writing down our intentions can solidify our commitment to them. When we put pen to paper, we create a physical representation of our desires. This act serves as a reminder of our intentions and helps us stay focused on our goals. It's a declaration of what we want to create in our lives. In Habakkuk 2:2, we are encouraged to write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. This verse highlights the power of written intentions as a guiding force for our lives. Setting clear intentions is an act of faith. It requires us to trust that the universe is aligned with our desires and that we are worthy of receiving what we ask for. As we take the time to define our desires and articulate them with clarity, we open the door to limitless possibilities. The journey of setting intentions is not just about achieving external goals. It is about aligning ourselves with our true purpose and creating a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. By committing to this practice, we tap into the infinite potential that lies within us and co-create our reality with the universe. Next, visualize your goals. Visualizing your goals is an essential component of the manifestation process. This powerful technique goes beyond mere daydreaming. It involves using your imagination to create a vivid and compelling mental picture of your desires as if they have already been realized. Visualization serves as a bridge between your intentions and the universe, helping you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your goals. To begin the practice of visualization, it is vital to create a serene space where you can focus your thoughts. This space should be free from distractions, allowing you to connect deeply with your inner self and your desires. Take a few moments to relax and center yourself. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and clear your mind. Once you feel calm, begin to picture your goal in as much detail as possible. Imagine not only what you want, but also how it would feel to achieve it. Engage all of your senses in this process. What do you see, hear, and feel? For instance, if your goal is to own a successful business, visualize yourself walking into your office, feeling the excitement and pride of your accomplishment. Picture the interactions with your team, the satisfaction of your customers, and the impact your business has on your community. Feel the emotions associated with your success, joy, fulfillment, gratitude, allowing these feelings to resonate within you. The Bible provides a profound example of visualization in the story of Abraham. God told Abraham to look at the stars and count them, stating that his descendants would be as numerous. Genesis 15:5. This imagery served as a powerful visual representation of God's promise to Abraham, enabling him to envision a future that seemed impossible at the time. In the same way, we can use visualization to create a mental landscape that embodies our desires. Visualization is not just a one-time event, it is a practice that requires consistency and dedication. Make it a daily habit to visualize your goals. Some people find it helpful to incorporate visualization into their morning or evening routines, using this time to immerse themselves in their dreams. The more you visualize, the stronger your connection to your desires becomes. This consistent practice reinforces your intentions and keeps your goals at the forefront of your mind. Moreover, it is essential to maintain a positive mindset during this process. Self-doubt and negative thoughts can create barriers that prevent you from fully embracing your visualization practice. Acknowledge any limiting beliefs that may arise, but do not let them deter you. Instead, replace those negative thoughts with affirmations that reinforce your ability to achieve your goals. Remind yourself that you are capable and deserving of success. This alignment of positive thoughts with your visualization enhances the effectiveness of the practice. In addition to visualization, consider creating a vision board. This visual representation of your goals serves as a constant reminder of what you are working towards. Gather images, quotes, and symbols that resonate with your aspirations and arrange them on a board. Place this vision board in a prominent location where you can see it daily. Each time you glance at it, take a moment to visualize your goals and feel the emotions associated with their achievement. This practice keeps your desires alive in your mind and helps you maintain focus on your intentions. The power of visualization extends beyond personal goals. It can also impact your relationships and interactions with others. When you visualize positive interactions, you set the stage for harmonious relationships. Picture yourself communicating effectively, resolving conflicts, and nurturing connections with loved ones. This proactive approach not only fosters positive outcomes, but also enhances your confidence in navigating social situations. As you visualize your goals, remember that this practice works hand in hand with faith and action. Visualization is not a substitute for effort, rather. It complements your actions by providing clarity and motivation. It prepares your mind and spirit to embrace the opportunities that come your way. In James 2:17, we are reminded that faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Visualization fuels your faith, enabling you to take inspired action toward your goals. Additionally, as you visualize, remain open to the possibility that your goals may evolve over time. Life is dynamic, and as you grow and gain new experiences, your desires may shift. Embrace this evolution with flexibility and curiosity. Regularly revisit and refine your visualization practice to align with your current aspirations and values. Visualization is a powerful tool that enables you to connect deeply with your goals and aspirations. By immersing yourself in the experience of achieving your desires, you align your thoughts and emotions with the universe, creating a powerful energetic resonance. Through consistent practice, positive mindset, and a willingness to embrace change, visualization can transform your dreams into reality, empowering you to live a life that reflects your highest potential. Gratitude is the next step in our journey. Expressing gratitude is a transformative practice that profoundly enhances our ability to connect with the universe and manifest our desires. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already possess, creating an abundant mindset. When we cultivate a spirit of thankfulness, we align ourselves with the frequency of abundance, which opens the door to even more blessings in our lives. At its core, gratitude is an acknowledgement of the gifts and blessings we have received. It requires us to pause and reflect on the myriad of things we often take for granted: our health, our relationships, our opportunities, and even the challenges that help us grow. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18, we are reminded, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." This scripture encourages us to adopt a grateful heart, recognizing that gratitude is not just a response to positive experiences, but a mindset we can cultivate in every circumstance. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to transform our perspective. When we express gratitude, we shift our focus from scarcity to abundance. This shift is essential for effective communication with the universe. Instead of dwelling on what we don't have, we celebrate what we do possess. This positive focus creates a magnetic energy that attracts more of what we desire. As we express gratitude for the blessings already in our lives, we signal to the universe that we are ready and open to receiving even more. To practice gratitude effectively, consider keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, take a few moments to write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. These can range from small moments, like enjoying a warm cup of coffee, to significant achievements, such as reaching a personal milestone. Writing these down not only reinforces your feelings of gratitude, but also provides a tangible reminder of the blessings in your life. Over time, this practice helps to rewire your brain to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of your daily experiences. In addition to journaling, expressing gratitude verbally is equally powerful. Take the time to thank the people in your life, family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers for their contributions and support. A simple thank you can create a ripple effect of positivity, strengthening relationships and fostering a sense of connection. In Luke 17:19, we find the story of the 10 lepers who were healed by Jesus, but only one returned to express gratitude. Jesus said, "Were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? This story illustrates the importance of acknowledging and expressing gratitude for the blessings we receive. Another effective practice is to create a gratitude ritual. This can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning to reflect on what you are grateful for before starting your day. Alternatively, you can incorporate gratitude into your evening routine by reflecting on the day's positive moments. These rituals serve as powerful anchors, helping you maintain a consistent focus on gratitude amidst the hustle and bustle of daily life. Gratitude is also about embracing a mindset of abundance in challenging times. Life is filled with ups and downs, and during difficult moments, it can be easy to fall into a mindset of lack and negativity. However, even in adversity, there are lessons and growth opportunities to be grateful for. This perspective not only helps us navigate tough times with resilience, but also reinforces our connection to the universe. As stated in Philippians 4:6-7, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. This scripture encourages us to approach our challenges with a grateful heart, inviting peace into our circumstances. Additionally, expressing gratitude can enhance our well-being and overall happiness. Studies have shown that individuals who practice gratitude regularly experience lower levels of stress, increased levels of optimism, and improved relationships. This positive emotional state contributes to a higher vibration, making us more receptive to the abundance the universe has to offer. When we radiate positivity and joy, we attract like energies, creating a cycle of gratitude and abundance. As we embrace the practice of gratitude, it is essential to remember that it is an ongoing journey rather than a destination. Each day presents new opportunities to express appreciation for the blessings in our lives. The more we practice gratitude,